joining us in Studio B. A man I sat next to on Saturday, hugged probably a few times once the Mangum miracle was completed. Michael Alisa.
Hugged or, man, that was some intense hugging. I think you ripped my suit jacket.
Seriously?
Yeah. So me, Spencer, David Nixon, Brian Long, we're all watching the game together. We're all like holding each other like this. And Mitch catches the ball. Everyone starts jumping around. It's like a mosh pit in there. And I ripped my suit jacket. So worth it. Totally worth it.
Totally worth it.
Totally redeemed yourself.
Sir, Brian Logan was hugging me so hard that I was like, ow,
All
dude.
of our like microphone cords that we had we're all queued up. Everything was loose. Cords everywhere.
I was on headset in the control room, and I just screamed, and one of our guys had just ripped it off because, I just yelled into his ear. What a moment. Hey, thanks for coming on. It was great to see you.
Thanks for having me. Yeah.
Oh, we have more questions for you.
Yes, yes, we do.
Yeah. Okay, so
goodbye.
it's been a couple days. The high of the Hail Mary is still there, but I think people are starting to realize, no Taysom Hill. Okay, this means something for BYU football. So what do you expect for BYU with Tanner Mangum at quarterback now?
I like Tanner. Holy cow. I like the way he plays. And then almost as much as the way he plays, I like his interviews. I watch all of his interviews. I'm just like a normal BYU fan. I couldn't get enough of it. This whole weekend I watched the interview he did with you. I watched the interview he did on SportsCenter. I think he's a class guy and just so poised, so mature. Has the right attitude of team first. Came in and was just like, I'm just happy to help out. I love the interview he did right after the game. You guys remember that? They said, so introduce yourself to Cougar Nation. Like, I'm Tanner Mangum. I'm from Idaho. Just happy to be part of the BYU team. I love that. I love that he just has that attitude of just like, I'm enjoying this. I'm enjoying the opportunity. I'm enjoying this whole moment. And I think, so sad seeing Taysom go down. What a blow. But having a guy with a positive attitude who wasn't looking for the spotlight, but when it was his turn, he stepped up big, and is just grateful to be able to help out. Really, I think having somebody with that right attitude, he has the tools to be successful this year, and so that's what I'm excited to see.
And I was impressed in his interviews right after the game with ESPN and Dave McCann on our postgame show, that he did not shy away from the moment, though. So he was funny, almost, a little naive, I'm Tanner Mangum, blah, blah. But then how are you ready? I've been preparing for this all summer. Like, he knew, okay, I'm going to be in a position to need to make a play. And I did it. And I think that means he's ready for the moment. Does that mean BYU is going to win the rest of the games? No. But I think he's ready to handle that role.
It's a major credit to Jason Beck for getting his backup quarterback ready to go. Because he said, Coach Beck told me, look, at a moment's notice, you have got to be ready to go and lead this team. Mm-hmm. And I know it takes a hugely poised freshman in Tanner Mangum to live up to that, but Jason Beck, job he did with Christian Stewart, and now with the transition of Tanner Mangum, how about some credit for that guy? Michael, while you were watching this unfold, you were teammates with a bunch of these guys last year. What were your emotions like watching those guys celebrate on the field?
Well, really quickly, so credit to Jason Beck and credit to Coach Anaya. I mean, Tanner Mangum comes in as your backup quarterback, second play in and third play, you're giving him pass plays. I love that. It's just the confidence of saying, new quarterback, but we're going to keep with our game plan. We're going to keep calling the same plays I was going to call anyway. And he showed that confidence in Tanner. Tanner felt that, I'm sure, and went in and performed. Watching this game unfold, my heart, my emotion, I just had chills. I couldn't stop thinking about it all weekend. I felt so much, love. Obviously, you wish you're out there on the field with those guys, because the feeling you have, all the hard work you put in over the offseason, and then seeing some of your brothers go down, and then coming through with a win like that, your emotions are through the roof. You don't even know what to do with your body. And we kind of saw that in Mitch Matthews. He was just like overwhelmed, right? and that's the thing I miss most about football. Holy cow! So I'm so glad that they got to have that feeling. I mean, everyone in Cougar Nation's on a high right now. So special moment for the team. I was very, very happy for them.
Tanner Mangum gray-shirted before his mission, which means you don't take 12 credits to start your clock. You're not a full-time student. You take less than that, but you can still hang out. You can still work out. He played a spring ball. Were you teammates with Tanner Mangum?
I was.
Gray-shirted Tanner Mangum?
In fact, in that spring ball, so Tanner Mangum, Taysom Hill and Christian Stewart were the three quarterbacks battling for the starting gig. And it was like a 3-horse race. You know, they were all neck and neck at the end of spring ball. But everyone knew Tanner was going to go on a mission, so that immediately eliminated him. But I'm telling you guys, he was doing so well before he left on his mission. And for those of us who saw him and who played as his teammate, that spring ball, it's not a really surprise to see him perform like this now.
Was that 2011 or 12? Right?
That was 2012.
2012.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
When you juxtapose the game last year against Utah State against the game against Nebraska that we just witnessed, Taysom Hill goes out with an injury. Christian Stewart comes in. BYU still loses that game. This time, the Hail Mary takes place. The Manga Miracle is completed. BYU wins the game. How much of a difference will that make for the remainder of the season because BYU was able to win in an adverse situation compared to last year?
Do you guys kind of think that the part of it might have been that the all the starters had already experienced that once, so that maybe they're a little more mature and able to play through that? I mean, I also read the story about Taysom. I don't know if you guys got a chance to look at this, but Taysom kept it a secret, and he swore the trainers to secrecy. He said, "Don't tell anybody about my injury." And he kept playing like a champ, like the competitor that he is, because he didn't want it to affect his team.
I was told that some guys knew it was Liz Frank in the second quarter.
Oh, really?
So some guys knew. I don't think Mitch Matthews didn't know.
Yeah,
Till
yeah.
after the game.
So just amazing like that. But I think that from here on out, the team's been through that before. We went through that last year, and we know what it's like to lose starters. And I think that right now the Cougars are with that coming off of that win especially, and seeing that your backup quarterback can in fact sling the ball around. You have a lot of confidence going into this next game, and it's one game at a time.
Yeah, I look at how is this going to be different this year versus last year. That it's not all on the backup. In that Utah State game, it was like Christian save us, and four verticals were called a lot of the second half, and it was different. This is you could feel the team's experience play into this. The defense, hey, we're going to help the offense out. They got a couple stops in the Utah State game. That was a little tougher to come by. And then plays were made by Nick Kurtz. Plays were made by Mitch Matthews. I could see the difference. So I expect BYU to, oddly enough, this schedule of 4 is very, it's a lot harder than last year, but I think BYU wins one of the next 3.
Isn't that interesting?
Right?
Yeah.
You don't just drop the next 3, in my opinion.
The dynamic, because BYU beat Nebraska, there's that air of confidence. So, Michael, on that note, do you expect BYU to beat Boise State on Saturday night?
I do absolutely, and it's not. I don't think that it's going to be. I think it's going to be a close game, but I would give them a high percentage of beating Boise State this game. I just think that we have all the tools. And I think with Kai Nakua coming back at safety, I think with our defense, really learning from their mistakes last game, I think that we're going to have a good shot.
When you look at Boise State and BYU, is this a rivalry, Michael?
Yeah, I would call it a rivalry. Even if you might not think it's a rivalry, make it a rivalry in your mind. Let the players get hyped up about this game. Let that play to our advantage. I think that's a healthy thing to do, and because it just makes you play better, makes it more exciting for the fans. So yeah, it's a rivalry. Let's do it. Let's make it.
It's a big game. It could be a ranked win. If BYU wins this game, they're like number 22 next week. The stakes are really high for the Cougars and Tanner Mangum.
How concerned are you about the running game? Very quickly.
Very, very concerned. I was. You guys know I was expecting a 100-yard rushing game out of Algie Brown this past week. We didn't see many rushes or yards from him. Adam Hine stepped in and got a nice little scurry around the left side, and the draw play got another long run. But I think that the offensive line, all the credit to them for being great at pass blocking. Now, if we can get those running lanes open, I think that our offense would be a lot more dimensional, and we'd have a lot more success. So I want more running.
Is that more on Nebraska's talented defensive line or more on BYU's inability to run the ball in game number 1?
It possibly might just be a talented Nebraska defensive line, because I know they're all really big boys. I looked at their roster, big guys, really talented.
NFL dudes.
Yeah. Honestly, those are NFL guys for sure. Now, I guess we'll just find out this game, really. I mean, we'll see how our guys perform, because all we've seen so far is them going against ourselves in practice, our scout team guys, and then Nebraska. So
And BYU's own those scout squad guys.
yeah,
I mean, they rush
those
for
running lanes
800
were
yards
huge
in practice, man. When you look at what BYU's got in terms of playmakers on the field, you look at the receivers and you go, wow, there are a lot of playmakers in there. So it makes sense to me if BYU changed, if Robert and I said, I'm gonna throw the rock more. Let's just throw the rock more. Yet he would lean on Tanner Mangum's arm that way. You really miss Jamal Williams right now, because if Jamal Williams is there, you hand the ball off to him. You make it easy on Tanner Mangum on 2nd and 3rd down.
Well,
but he's not there.
And then you have some type of experience in the backfield. You know, Algie, yes, he has a little bit of experience from last year, but this is honestly like his sophomore year. So you don't want to throw out the word sophomore slump out there, but it's
just
possible.
one game.
Yeah, it's just one game, but it's possible. But with Jamal Williams, we would have had someone with a lot of experience under his belt, a lot of stats under his belt, and leadership. So yeah, you definitely miss him right now.
What do you see? What do you see happening in this game relative to what I just mentioned? Do you see BYU throwing the ball more, or do you see them trying to establish the run game to the same degree?
Yeah, don't go away from the run game yet.
Okay.
Still try to establish that. Give Algie Brown and Adam Hine now a lot more opportunities to make something happen. And honestly, it's going to be a battle now. Algie has Adam Hine nipping at his heels. He might even be the guy going into this game after what he did against Nebraska.
9.2 a carry on 4 carries.
Yeah. So he did. I was really impressed with Adam Hine. And honestly, I don't think any of us saw that coming from Adam Hine.
No.
Yeah. So that was a really nice surprise. Let's hope that he can carry it on this week against Boise State.
Back to the other side of the ball now. You played running back, and you also played linebacker last year. You played with Kai Nakua. He is back for the first game after that one-game suspension for his involvement in the Miami Beach Bowl. What kind of a difference will he make for that BYU secondary?
Kai Nakua is the quarterback of this defense. I know I'll talk about Harvey Longy, but Kai Nakua really is the one with experience back there. And the BYU defense is run by the safeties. The safety knows everything, every moving part of that defense. And I don't think Harvey Longy's honestly been here long enough to really know all the ins and outs of the defense yet. But with Kai Nakua back there, he's intense. He lays the wood. He has some big hits coming up there. I think that's what it's going to take to get the defense rolling. And we kind of felt his absence against Nebraska. Had some younger guys, Matt Hadley in there, playing his heart out, but you definitely felt Kai Nakua's absence.
Michael, Alisa, great stuff, my friend. Let's do it again soon, huh?
Yes, let's do it.
Okay. Bring the Hawaiian shirt next time.
Yes, sir.
Tim Lacombe still owes us 2 of those.
That is very true. That is very true.
He's nice to give this to us.
Michael Alisa made his debut on the pre- and post-game shows last Saturday. Did a fantastic job in bringing it on BYU Sports Nation.